We're also going to be taking a look at the...
Look at this monster.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection. It wraps around the other side here, too. And this was much more fast-paced than the new series. This is told in black and white.
Yep.
Eastman and Laird kind of shared duties with writing and art.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading that they actually, like, when they were separate, they, like, actually... like sent the pages to each other, and they both worked on the art together, and so it was an interesting collaboration between them.
I'm not sure. This collects the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics.
First
These
7
are books that
issues.
started it all.
Yep.
And I'm not sure I realized that it's not like Eastman was the writer, Laird was the artist, vice versa. It's not like one did penciling, one did inking. They each did both parts. They each penciled, they each inked every page.
Very integrated.
So they kind of...
It's a true collaboration.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a little... there's a one-issue part of the micro-series in this one, too, that introduces Casey Jones, which is in the other series.
Yep, there's a Raphael one-shot. Yep. And IDW also, in the spirit of these original comics, has also released a Raphael one-shot, which we haven't read yet, but it's out.
Yeah. But we do see characters like Baxter Stockman and April O'Neil... Obviously Splinter, like we did in the other ones. We do get Shredder in this one. And unlike the cartoon, he's a very short-lived character. They kind of blew him up in the cartoon into this huge, like, bad guy. And I was reading some of the things in here about how once they killed somebody off, they didn't want to bring him back like other superhero books. It was pretty much, what it was. So, yeah.
So they killed Shredder in the first issue.
Flash grenade. But, this is an action-packed series. Unlike the other one, this is like, there's constant fighting with like foot soldiers and the Mausers. I'd never read these original comics like you did, and I just had a ton of fun reading it. It was great. Yeah, I love the Mausers. They're much scarier in here than they were in the cartoon. Casey Jones is awesome.
We should show some of this artwork.
Yeah, sure.
Because IDW,
they did a really good job.
An oversized book.
Yeah. Yeah, this is from one of the later issues where they kind of go off-world, where there's Triceratons, which are those, like, the dinosaur Triceratops type guys. And they meet, like, a robot. Casey Jones in that one. April O'Neil has some weird hair issues, but... this is great. They really self-published, like, the first, the entire thing. And, yeah, they did a great job. It was really solid from the start. Like they had their shit together when they came up with this idea and how they played it out. It's really well done.
Well, I'm glad you liked it so much.
Yeah.
Because I had read these comics before. I was a little too young when the original black and white comics first came out. I became a fan of the Turtles with the cartoon series initially. But I do have a great fondness for the material collected here. It's been collected partially a few times before, and I read this stuff when it was collected by the now defunct First Comics. They released a series of thin trade paperbacks of this material in color. And I used to always get those for Christmas as Christmas presents. And I just loved them. I found it fascinating, the differences between the comics and the cartoon show with which I was more familiar. And I just read these comics over and over and over again when I was young, and I loved them. And I always wished that there would be a definitive kind of complete reprinting of the original Eastman and Laird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in black and white. So I'm really delighted that IDW has brought this out. It's been delayed. We actually wanted to do this Turtles show quite a while back, but they delayed the release of this. But I think it was definitely worth the wait. I definitely have things to say about the way that IDW has presented this material. I was originally going to almost just excuse myself from discussing the comics themselves critically, because I felt like I just have so much fondness and nostalgia for it, I would not be able to really accurately evaluate the quality of these books. But I changed my mind because as I was reading, because for one I just like to talk a lot, but as I was reading them, I was just really won over all over again as an adult reader. You're right, these are good comics.
They're really good.
I don't, Turtles, these are important comics because, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when they were originally self-published, kicked off a whole boom of black and white, independently self-published comic books in the 1980s. And there were a lot of negative consequences of that, but it was a significant movement that was going on in comics at that time, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 was sort of the flashpoint for that. So they're important comics in that sense, and obviously they ended up being this, you know, financially lucrative multimedia empire that's still rolling along today. So, you know, I think that aspect of the success of these comics is acknowledged, but I think their success as comic books, you know, is a little less secure. Like, I don't know that these are considered great comics. You know what I mean? But I kind of think they sort of are great comics. The first like 3 issues are a little rough. They're well. You're right. They're well done, and they're long comic books, which I liked. So like 40-page issues, so you get a really complete, meaty story in each issue. They draw the hell out of it. The first 3 issues I feel like are a little rough. Some of the pacing and the paneling, I guess, for lack of a better term, is a little choppy, a little rough there. But they refine themselves as they go along, and the issue. There's only 7 issues collected here, plus the Raphael one-shot, but they were published over a series of 3 years. So you can really see Eastman and Laird developing and growing as artists as the series goes along. So by the time you get to the last 4 issues collected here, issues 4 through 7, where they delve deeply into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles origin, and they have this whole outer space adventure, very inspired by Star Wars. They have become excellent storytellers, and that 4-series like arc is just a terrific adventure, and I really enjoyed reading them too. And I think nostalgia and affection from my own childhood is only a part of that. These are well done adventure comic books. They're very inspired by the comic books of the 1980s, particularly the work of Frank Miller. Most people probably know that is a huge influence on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles story. But also Star Wars, as I mentioned. They have this 8 issues long space saga that's basically an homage to Star Wars. They talked in the kind of back matter here about the influence of Jack Kirby on their work, which is something I hadn't really picked up on before, but I noticed it reading through here now, especially in the splash pages that they do towards the beginning of each issue, which is something that Kirby did in the late 1960s, 1970s, so they've lifted that and applied that here. So yeah, it was just really, they're really great comics. I mean, these are 2 like young guys, just really enthusiastic, really putting their all into this material, doing it on their own terms in their own way, and finding huge success with it. And there's just something really wonderful about that. But mostly they're just really fun comics to read.
A ton of fun.
A ton of fun, yeah. And I do want to say a bit more about the job that IDW has done in their presentation of this material.
Yeah.
Like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fans need to know this material could not be better represented. Like, this is a beautiful package that they have put together. It's a beautiful oversized hardcover. You have every issue presented as it originally appeared in black and white, nice paper stock, so that super detailed artwork looks absolutely phenomenal, as we showed you. After the end of each issue, they have annotations and kind of panel-by-panel analysis by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. So this is just the perfect presentation of this material. You could not imagine a more handsome, more appropriate presentation of this stuff. So I can't wait for Volume 2. I liked it a lot, too. It was really good.
Yeah, and if you're still looking for something to get somebody for the holidays, I mean, this is a great gift book.
Yep, another great holiday gift pick from Comics and More. But yeah, it's just absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
So I hope people definitely check it out. I mean, it's probably a little bit more expensive, but I think you get what you're paying for with this stuff. I mean, obviously the original issues are really expensive, and with the oversized hardcover and I really love the little annotations at the end of every issue. Nice. That was really great. That was really kind of filled in. Kind of the behind-the-scenes details, and also just gave you a sense of these two young guys just kind of going their own way and making comics in exactly the way they wanted to make them, and look how successful it was. It's kind of inspiring.
Very much.
Pretty great. So definitely check those out.